Hello and welcome to Design or Design. My name is Maria and I am very passionate about fashion, about style, about just expressing yourself as you'd like to be perceived. And today we're going to be talking about the shoe trends for spring summer 2022, kind of taking a look at the runways, pulling out all of the different examples and seeing what there is more of, what there is less of, what is not there at all. And yeah, let's just get started. I don't know why, but we're gonna start with boots. I know for summer it's a weird place to start, but I think we'll be all right. And let's go with the knee high. So we do see quite a larger amount of knee-high boots comparing to maybe not previous season because they started coming in hot kind of previous few seasons, but in comparison for a few years ago, let's just say that we see a large amount of knee-high boots coming back. So more like the 2YK moments happening with those boots. They're not quite chunky. They're more, well, now that I talk about chunky, Gucci shoes come up and they're a little bit on a chunkier side, but we do see like some pointy toes like from Balenciaga and from Blue Marine. Dolce & Gabbana had such a great variety of different knee-high boots in so many different patterns, colors, and even textures. Yeah, I feel like that may be a boot that is a little bit too hot for summer, but maybe if it's made out of some kind of cloth rather than leather, it should be all right. Okay, now that we're talking about height of them, we see some examples of thigh-high boots, and these are pretty like dramatic. So we see it Givenchy, we also see some from Fendi show, and of course Dolce & Gabbana also had super high boots in denim, in leather, as well as in like combat print. And combat print comes back to combat boots. So we still see combat boots, which are my favorite. I don't know, once again, it's a little bit of an odd thing to wear boots during the summer, but we see it Alexander McQueen in Dior and a few more shows like Zimmerman. Okay, so Clogs. Clogs came into the shows starting the previous summer season, I believe, and I can't say that I enjoy it whatsoever, but it's not up to me. It's up to you. I tried on a few pairs just to see if like I like them, and I still don't. I still don't like them at all. So we've seen some of them in Givenchy, which was probably the best ones out there, Regina Pio, as well as Salvatore Ferragamo. So coming off of that still very chunky shoe, we have a chunkier kind of a boot. It more looks to me like if a clog was a boot, that would it be. So we see some of these in Bottega Veneta as well as in Balenciaga. Okay, so still continuing that chunky shoe trend, we're having platforms. I feel platforms is the biggest trend of the summer when it comes for shoes. We see it flat, we see it on a heel like we were seeing at Rick Owens and Lanvin, as well as in Etro, more having like a sandal type platforms. Yves Saint Laurent has very, I don't want to say stripper shoes, but that's what I'm going to say. So huge platform with a crazy heel. We see Versace introducing like a full platform shoes in a few different styles. I quite like them. And you know what? I prefer when it's a platform for it not to be flat, for it to be more like a heel, just because usually heels are made much more comfortable when they're a platform heel. Acne Studios has some very dramatic platform shoes, and this really reminds me of the Spice Girls and just how popular it was back in like 1990s. We also have Simon Rocha having more like a doll-like shoes that complemented their very doll-like outfits. And we also see some of those stripper heels in Gucci, which was interesting. I quite like it. Fine, I like it. Okay, let's continue to Sparkles. So we see lots of sparkles in the shoe wear, and it's not only in the shoe wear. In case you haven't checked out my previous video about the trends of the materials that are going to be happening, check it out. It's going to be listed down below along with the other ones from the series. But we have lots of either metallic, ski, sheen. This one from David Coma having, I'm not sure if those are kind of like, not leggings, but having stockings with the shoes on with those crystals all over, or maybe those are a thigh-high boot. I'm not particularly sure, but anyways, Dolce & Gabbana had quite a large amount of like crystallized shoes, crystallized boots. Alexander McQueen had, once again, I have no idea if those are like pants with crystals. I would imagine they would have to be, just because of the weight, and if they were just up, they would just fall off. Anyways, let's talk about another way of like having statement shoes. Color. So in Versace, we had a multitude of different color choices in the shoes, whether there were like a Sharpie yellow, maybe a bright pink, a bright red, you name it. So basically all the colors that were present in there, they had a shoe with that. Bottega Veneta also had quite a large amount of like almost more of a statement shoe, so like having all white and a blue shoe, or all black and a blue shoe. Blue Marine had kind of, they were matching the color of the shoe to the color of their outfits. Louis Vuitton had some odd boots. I just really don't like when boots have open toe. Like, it's like, why? Maybe it's for like the warmer climate people to be able to wear the boot trend without having like overheated feet. But like for me, I'm like thinking of all of the rain that will get in there, and like maybe even snow. Like, why would you do this? Anyways, okay. We also see some of these really bright shoes from MSGM, as well as Prada had a few mule type shoes in like orange and green. Gucci also had some very bright shoes, as well as Tom Ford having that silky smooth. Anna Sue, yeah, lots and lots. If it wasn't the color, it would be like a print. So Dolce & Gabbana had a few different printed shoes, and Moschino had, yeah, lots of very bright colors in their shoe collection. All right, let's get into texture. Texture is one of the other ways you can play around with, you know, having that pop of interest. So we see Lanvin having kind of like a metallic-y, fringy shoe and a bag collection. Fendi had some puffy, like fluffy, furry shoes on their runways, like kind of having straps being all furry instead of the inside of the shoe. Altuzara had the soles of the shoes being furry, like, you know, the Gucci slipper were. Dolce & Gabbana had some fringes happening on their knee-high boots. Interesting. Puffy. Okay, so another kind of, I don't know if it's texture or something, but Balmain had, like, most of their shoes were either very tight, or they were this puffy cords, almost resembling the Fendi furriness, but being like kind of like a cord instead of like maybe a leather or something else. Bottega Veneta also had a pair of those, that kind of a style. And another shininess, if you'd like shiny, so we have lots of chains on shoes. This we've seen for a few seasons now. Chains are the major thing that's happening right now. We see these chains in Tom Ford, a lot of those, in Versace, Fendi collaboration, and yeah, I quite like them. I feel like they would be very like classy and wouldn't go out of style as much. Anyways, let's get into more of a strappy shoe, more like a actual like summer shoe that you could wear. Definitely, we have lots of shoe with just like two stripes to hold them, whether they're super skinny or they're a little bit wider, like in Fendi Versace collaboration, or maybe they're on a platform. Chanel had that kind of a sandal with two stripes. Yves Saint Laurent having once again those stripes, but coming off up the leg a little bit more. We also see the strappiness happening, more like a ballerina stripes coming up, and we have lots of gladiator shoes from Dior, and there was another show, but I can't remember its name. If you're enjoying this content so far and would like to support me in making more of these videos, please like this video. Maybe write a nice comment down below. If you're not already subscribed, subscribe. Every little thing helps. Thanks. Oh my goodness, can you imagine? My phone ran out of storage halfway in me filming, so let's just recap. Okay, so we have more of those gladiator type shoes from Versace, but they're more like a ribbon of the ballerina straps that are going on almost to the knee. Blue marine, we had some swirly thing that was happening around the ankle. And Isabella Marant had some interesting version of that strappiness, even with the boots. We actually seen this in the previous season in Louis Vuitton and Etro, straps going around the boot. We also see this in just kind of a sandal-like type. Alcazara had a few. There was even one that had asymmetric straps. Vivienne Westwood also had the strappy higher heel. We also see these heels in Zimmermann, as well as in Dolce & Gabbana, lighter version in metallics, and Rock also had very thin stripy shoes. Also, Sport Max had very huge platforms, and then they had a bunch of strappiness to hold it to your foot. Okay, let's move on to the T-bar. That's one classical example of these from Miu Miu, and we have more of a contemporary ones from Acne Studios. There are a few of those shoes, as well as from Christopher Kane, and Burberry has some. But okay, can you see, were those toe rings, or am I imagining something here? Mary Jane, another very classical shoe. We see it in Chanel, as well as I think the entire show of Moschino had Mary Jane shoes, but that's pretty much all that we see these shoes in. Mules, so a little kind of a slip-on heeled shoes. We see some of these in platform version and Versace, as well as Prada had a few different colored ones. So there's no like ankle coverage. I tend to not wear them just because they fall off of my leg all the time, and I don't know how to keep them on me, honestly. But they're kind of nice and light for the summertime. Pointy shoe. I'm happy to announce that this time around, pointy shoe were more present, way more present than the square toe shoe. Not that I have anything against the square toe shoe now, but as long as it's open toe. If it's a closed square toe shoe, no thank you. But pointy toe shoes are very great to visually elongate your legs and give you a little bit of a height, even if they're just a flat. So yeah, I'm here for it. Let's talk about sandals. Yes, the shoe that you can actually wear because it's comfortable, it's flat, and it's comfortable. So the shoes that we've seen were kind of just a slide sandal, as well as a flip-flop, and we also seen some like fisherman sandal, or well, we've seen the gladiator before, right? So there is quite a large variety. Almost every single type of it were present. There's some fancier ones, some brighter colors, and there's some just very neutral and kind of more of a classic versions. We still see that dad sandal that not everybody is for. I quite like it. It's quite practical, and I feel like it's in whichever outfit I would pair it with a combat boot, I could replace it with that dad sandal, but just in black, so it's like not as in your face. So anyways, let's move on to more of a classy shoe. Not too many, but I've seen some, so I've decided to point these out. More like a men's dress shoe, men's dress shoes. So we've seen some of them in Christopher Kane, as well as Ardem and Gucci, and as well as Michael Kors. Loafer is another great classical shoe. So Christopher Kane had some of these like heeled loafer type patent leather shoes. We also seen Versace's huge platforms being in that design. Also Miu Miu. If it wasn't a loafer on like a little kitten heel, it was like a men's type of a loafer, or it was a sneaker format. And sneakers, yes, that's right, we made it into the sneaker category, and I can't say that I'm the biggest fan of the Miu Miu sneakers. They just don't look fresh and new to me, and like, why would you want to buy something that doesn't look new? Like, you know, those golden goose horrible shoes. Oh my gosh, that rhymed. And we also see Balenciaga having more of a chunkier dad, like ugly shoes are still here. They're still using it. Loewe has like a gumboot sneaker that I'm not happy, because like, can you imagine how sweaty your foot is going to be in there? Alexander McQueen had like the best, nicest sneaker. It was white, it was somewhat feminine, like a perfect balance. Anyways, here you go, you guys. Thank you very much for watching this to the end. Let me know down in the comments below which was your favorite, which shoe you prefer to wear during the summer. Do you ever wear boots in the summer? That's, I think, the most important question here. If you enjoyed this video and are not yet subscribed, I encourage you to do so. Come on, join this gang. Witness me mispronounce most of the designer's name. I know everybody loves that, right? Maybe give this video a like. Maybe you'll write down a little comment down below. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, have a great day. Stay safe and stay classy. Bye. Heel on a little kitten heel.